Just bringing you tips and tricks, insider information for buyers, for sellers, what's going on in the market these days. I'm going to show a house this afternoon. It says it's a fixer-upper. Looks like they've done some work in the bathroom, some in the kitchen. Also kind of looks like maybe one of the windows is held on with spray foam. I get a lot of questions from my buyers and my sellers about home inspections, so I thought it'd be a good idea to do a piece about that this week. A home inspection is exactly what it sounds like it is. You have a licensed home inspector. They're licensed here in Indiana by the state. They have to take exams, they have to do continuing educations, they attend seminars and all kinds of different things. The reason why they do all those different things is because they check out every part of the house. A home inspection will probably cost you $300 or $400, but it'll take, maybe 4 hours. They look at the furnace, they look at the foundation, they look at the roof, all the electrical outlets, the dishwasher, everything in the house. Takes kind of a long time. When you're a buyer, you go under contract on a house, the first step you're going to do is do that home inspection generally. I'll give you the names of some home inspectors here in the area. Obviously, you can use whoever you want. Give them a call. Talk to them a little bit. Make sure it's somebody that you can talk to and are comfortable talking to, because if you do have questions down the road, it's going to have to be somebody that you're comfortable admitting you know nothing about soffits to, something like that. So you get it lined up. It'll usually be scheduled in the next 3 or 4 days. Like I said, home inspection will take about 3 or 4 hours depending on the size of the house. You are absolutely allowed and encouraged to go to the home inspection. Sometimes what I tell my buyers is show up for the last 45 minutes or half hour or so. Home inspector can do his job a little bit more efficiently, if there's not somebody hanging around. And then at the end, he can kind of go through everything that they found and point out different things and show you what he's talking about. Once that's done, he will or she will send a report, copy to your agent, copy to you. It's going to be different than other home inspections. You could have 4 houses, the same house, you could have 4 home inspectors, you're going to get 4 different home inspection reports. Different training, different guidelines, those lead to different reports. Here's the big thing, and I tell all my buyers this ahead of time. You're going to get the report, you're going to freak out. It's going to be 30 pages long. It's going to talk about random, horrible cracks in the drywall and missing doorstops and all electrical and all kinds of things. Do not freak out. It is broken down, usually in the beginning of the report, kind of a summary of the worst stuff that they found. And the rest of it, is just stuff that comes with the house being, a certain number of years old. The first big one that you're going to see on there, they call it major defects. These are big things. These are giant foundation cracks. These are roof leaks. This is, a furnace that's about to explode or something like that. If you get a major defect, under Indiana law, depending on the definition, etc., you can back out. You can say, this is too big of a problem. If you're not going to fix it, we're not buying the house. You're done. We'll go and find another house. You're going to find safety issues in there. A lot of times these aren't big deals or particularly expensive to fix, but obviously it's a safety issue. You see this with GFCI outlets not within 6 feet of water. Sometimes you'll see this with plumbing problems, things like that. Something that's going to make the house not great to live in, so usually this is something you want to address. You're going to have cosmetic stuff. A lot of times they'll flag, different doorknob, unmatching outlets, things like that. Presumably, when we put together the offer, the money that we offered to pay for this house, we took those things into account. So if your home inspector flags, a lump in the carpet that needs to be stretched out, this isn't necessarily something you're going to ask them to fix on a home inspection. It is cosmetic. Presumably, we already, factored that into the price. Where it gets tricky are the in-between things. So you have major defects and safety issues, which obviously need to be fixed, and then you have cosmetic stuff, which really, is just, expected with the age of a house, and then you probably have in-between things. What you'll want to do, sit down with your agent, myself, whoever your agent is, go through the report, make like a wish list of all the things you want to have fixed, address any major issues and safety issues, and then kind of go through that list and see, what it is you're willing to live with, what you're demanding them to fix. Your basic consideration is going to be price. So depending on how much you offered on the house, if it's a $10 smoke detector that needs to be installed, fine. Take it or leave it. I'll buy a smoke detector. That's all good. If it's something that may cost, a couple hundred, couple $1,000s, that's where, we'll talk closely about what exactly to ask for and how those repairs should be done. Make sure, whatever agent you're working with, that they put in your inspection response that those repairs have to be made by a licensed contractor, plumber, electrician, whatever it is you're trying to get fixed. You don't want somebody's Uncle Mike to go in there and start, installing electrical outlets because you have no idea who Mike is or if he has any experience. You get the report, we'll go through it, and then we have to submit within a certain time frame a buyer's inspection response. And basically this will say one of three things. It'll say, everything's great, we don't need you to fix anything, which is ideal. It'll say, there's a major defect, you either have to fix it or we're backing out, which is not a big deal, but kind of a big deal because we've got to find another house, but you definitely don't want to get saddled with some horrible, collapsing house. More than likely what it'll say is, we would like you to fix X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z, by a licensed contractor, we want the receipts and invoices. You'll prepare this with your agent will send it over to the seller will come back, and they will have one of three responses. Sure, we'll fix everything, awesome. No, we're not fixing anything, in which case you then work with your agent and figure out, what's a deal breaker, what you can live with, those kinds of things. Or they'll come back and say, we're gonna fix X and Y, but we're not gonna fix Z. And then again, sit down with your agent, talk to, whoever's you're buying the house with, whatever it is, and see what you can fix, when you can fix it, how much it's gonna cost. There are a couple other options that you might be able to work out with your agent. Either one is the seller isn't going to make a repair, but they're going to give you money off, which is fabulous. Or if it's something that can be worked into a home warranty, maybe a furnace problem or something like that, you might be able to have the sellers not make the repair, but buy you a home warranty. So if in fact it does break over the next year or whatever the term of the warranty is, you'll be able to have coverage for that. One key point, I hear this from my buyers a lot. The sellers in Indiana do not have to fix anything. In Indiana, if you can find a buyer for a house, it doesn't matter if it has 2 nails and string keeping it together, they are not required to fix anything. So when you're negotiating on that stuff, please keep that in mind. Nobody wants to get, screwed over on a home purchase, on a home that's breaking, but the sellers have a stake in it as well. Usually it can absolutely be worked out. Everybody wants the same thing. Sometimes it can get sticky, so make sure that, it's a hill you're willing to die on. If it is something like carpeting that needs to be stretched, you may want to take a step back and think about it a little bit. Get a home inspection. I tell all my buyers this. I recommend it to everybody. I'm obviously not a home inspector. Your dad, your uncle, your aunt may know a lot about houses, but not about furnaces or not about electrical or something like that. Highly encourage you to get one. It's for your protection. If you don't get one, I'm going to make you sign a waiver that you didn't want one, and you lose some of your ability to work with the seller and demand things from them if something goes wrong down the road. Thanks for that. I hope this helped you. If you want more information, I actually, on my website, www.homesalesbyerica, have a blog entry called Questions About Home Inspections. And it delves into these things a little bit deeper, a little more detailed in terms of what repairs might be and things like that. Obviously, I have a ton of other blog posts and everything on there. Just posted one yesterday about our real estate market here in Indiana and why it's doing so well. So please do check that out. I will post a link to that actually in our comments. Any questions? Buying, selling, home inspection, mortgages, zoning restrictions, anything like that? Please, anytime, call me, text me, 219-765-2062. You can always email me at ericag, E-R-I-C-A-G, at c21affiliated.com. Leave a comment on this post, private message me, carrier pigeon, totally fine. I'm always happy to help, whether you buy something or sell something or not. This is my job and I love it. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope everything goes well, and I'll see you next week.